Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is a very important night. And it's like those moments in your life that you don't know how important they are until some later point where you look back and realize that that night was the most important moment, most important night of your life. All you did was you went to a party and then you saw your wife. All you did was you shook hands with someone in a coffee shop. They became your lifelong business partner. It started off like a regular day, but that day would be the day that would change your life. Tonight is a night that will change lives. A night that couples will be able to point backwards to in time and say it was on that night in the house, in the welcoming home of David and Monique had it, that the money was raised to be able to give us a chance to build a family. Tonight has the possibility of being those children's most important moment, night of their lives. And with that opening, I want to share with you a story. I did a Pesach program this year, and a woman tells me, "Have I got a story for you?" And she tells me the following story, a story that I knew I was going to put in my pocket, and I knew I was going to tell it to you tonight. I've got permission from her to tell you her name. Her name is Kedra Bro. Her husband's name is David. And in 2004, in his third year of law school, he and his wife were barely making ends meet, and they were living day to day off of his school and his student loans. Well, they tried and were unable to have children and realized that they would need the help of IVF. They found out in October of 2004 that the price back then was $10,000. They went to the student loan office and said, "Is there any way that we could take out $10,000? And the student loan officer said, "I'm really sorry. All you have left for this term, all I can give you is $5,000. If you want the other $5,000 for this project, you'll have to wait until the new term, until January." She took the money, put it on the side. It was half of what she needed to be able to hopefully have her dream. But then one night, Kedra gets a phone call. And it's her brother, and he's calling from Israel. And he says, "Kedra, you know this girl, I know her for a while. I love her. I've decided I want to marry her. And I want to propose, but I don't have enough money for a ring. And I told her that I want to propose, but that I don't have a ring. And her grandmother offered to give me the diamond for the ring. What do you think I should do?" And Kedra said to her brother, she says, "You can't propose to a girl with a ring that you got from her." She says, "You know, I have $5,000. I have a connection. I'll bring the money to the guy. I'll ask him to copy my ring, and you'll use that ring, and that's how you'll get married. But you have to promise me one thing. Promise me you'll get me my $5,000 back in January." What a sister. She tells her brother, "It's taken care of. Don't worry, I got you." The brother's so excited. He's so happy. He tells her, "Kedra, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, but I'm so excited. I got so much energy. You pump me up. I want to go right now to the kotel. And I'm going to pray to God that you and David should be able to have a baby." He did not know why Kedra and David, who was struggling for cash, had $5,000 put aside. He did not know. Nobody knew, because they had not told anyone that they needed IVF or that they needed fertility treatments. They didn't need the pressure. They didn't want the questions at every event, at every family simcha. People knew that they wanted to have a family, but nobody knew more than that. And now she definitely wasn't going to tell him, because then he would never take the money. Well, she gets the ring. He comes back home, and they fly to Miami for the engagement, and she sees the ring that she paid for that she arranged on her sister-in-law's finger. And she thinks to herself, what have I done? That's my baby. What if my brother can't get the money back to me? What if? She was terrified. But she flew back home after that engagement party. And not 24 hours after she gets home, does she get a phone call. And the other side of the phone is a rabbi, and the rabbi says, hi, I'm calling you from Bonei Olam. Is this Kedra, bro? She says, it is. What's Bonei Olam? He says, Bonei Olam is an organization that helps people who need fertility with the funds that they need to be able to have a baby. An anonymous donor called in a $10,000 donation for you to have a full cycle of IVF. She can't believe what she's hearing. But she says, who is it? I need to know. He would not give her secret. She threatened not to take the money. Still, the rabbi protected the anonymous donor's identity until he says, which clinic are you using or were you going to use? And they transferred $10,000 to Duke University Clinic in 2004 at the end of December. Well, my friends, she didn't know who it was. She figured it might be her brother's parents-in-law who maybe found out about the ring and felt bad. But she went ahead with the treatment. In late January, her brother brought back the $5,000. But by that time, she didn't need it. Because midway through January, David and Kedra Bro found out that they were pregnant, thanks to Bonei Olam. My friends, their daughter Miriam was born on August 29th, 2004, almost exactly 9 months from that phone call. She'd put herself second, she'd worried about someone else, so God worried about her. It was only later, my friends, that Kedra found out that that anonymous donor was not her brother-in-law, her sister-in-law's parents, but rather it was one of her own friends who'd found out that she was struggling and decided to donate the money for her. A friend that felt the pain that she was going through because she herself had gone through 5 cycles of IVF and had 5 miscarriages and had never been blessed with a child. So she took the money and paid for Kedra to have her first round. Well, that woman not only was the cause of Miriam Bro being brought into the world on August 29th, but on that cycle, she became pregnant and had a baby as well. My friends, our rabbis tell us that when we worry for others, God worries for us. When we take care of others, God takes care of us. But I ask you, is there any more essential, more fundamental thing that you could give to somebody than having a child? Is there anything that we wouldn't give of ours to save our child? That means that everything that we have is that gift that we tonight have the chance to give to somebody else. We have the chance to ensure that our children will merit to have because we're worrying about someone else. And when we do that, God worries for us. My friends, for some people, Bonei Olam is a source of funds. For some people, it's a source of support and advice. But for many, Bonei Olam is a source for miracles. Now, what was once something that a few people here and there suffered with, now as a rabbi I can tell you, is far more common than it has ever been before. I don't know why. Maybe Rabbi Bachner knows. But I'm seeing it over and over and over again. Couples that will come to the city with a whole group of friends, and they come together, but they don't progress together. One has a baby immediately. Another couple, nothing, no news, a couple months, a couple more months, how long? A year. You might think that they're waiting for the right time, and then they have a baby. But then there's that couple that sits in the synagogue, sometimes lasting longer in the city because they didn't leave with 2 or 3 kids back to Brooklyn. And when I can tell that it's not a choice, that's when I walk up to them and I whisper in their ear a great secret, the secret of Bonei Olam. My friends, this organization is an organization that has a huge heart. In fact, it has 12,549 hearts. Those hearts of the children of babies that were brought into this world with the help, the generosity, the persistence of Bonei Olam. But my friends, those 549 hearts are 25,000 plus hearts of a mother and father that are brought back to life, that don't know the loneliness or sadness that they once did. That's 100,000 grandparents who don't have to worry that the family name will die with their children. That is the power of one man, Rabbi Shlomo Bachner, and one woman, Rebbe Simchana Bachner. 2 people who forever changed the landscape of our community, of our people, and our future. There's a quote that I once read that says, "Never believe that a few caring people can't change the world, for indeed, that's all who ever have." And I was reminded of this quote when I walked in tonight in the pouring rain, seeing not as many people as we'd hoped. And because I'm a weirdo, I wrote a little poem. It goes like this. It's raining, it's pouring, part of our guest list is snoring. The hat it's tented our head, we were very well fed. Let's send our donations soaring. Now, my friends, tonight, there are less of us. So Bonei Olam needs more from us. I can't ask you enough as a rabbi to do Torah and mitzvot. I'll ask you to keep kosher and Shabbat and the holidays and tzedakah and a lot of things. But maybe you won't do all the mitzvot I'll suggest. So could you help me with the first one in the Torah? The Torah's mitzvah of Peru, Urvu. The most important mitzvah, the mitzvah of our future. May God bless our efforts tonight with many children. May God bless our efforts and provide us miracles in our own life. And may God reward our hosts for everything that they did, including the last minute things that they snapped together to make sure that this event would go on, rain or shine. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should send all the birachot that you could have ever hoped for or prayed for, because you are helping someone who has been praying in that same vein. Thank you very much.